everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a first impressions sort of overlook of OSOMATSU-KUN from 1988. So this is going to be very hugely comparatively speaking because I only saw one episode, and I think it was like towards the beginning of the series. There's almost 100 episodes, and this was episode I think 35. And I am already immediately impressed in a way. There's obviously huge contrasts between 1988 and 2015 and 2017, where the story of the most recent adaptation is about the brothers and their different personalities that they have now, whereas back in the first two segments, they were basically six of the same person as far as I know. I still haven't caught any kind of glimpse of the original series from the 60s. But I think they all share the same studio, but there were huge changes in production, of course, as time went on. No, the first one is Studio Zero. The second one is the second and third one are the ones with the same studio. But I have to say, so far, as much as I love psychedelic, I guess I should put that out there. I'm gonna have a bias, even though I don't particularly like how the characters turned out being nice guy incels in the most recent modern adaptation. I am going to say that there's definitely a different gear shift, obviously. So, like, I don't know how anyone coming from the previous two Osomatsu series coming to this would act towards it. I know there are some people out there that was like, as soon as they heard, like, oh, this isn't new, this is actually really old, and it first came out in 2015, they probably went back and watched the first two if they could find it, or at least the previous one. I actually found 1988 on YouTube, and I'm going to watch the whole thing. I'm going to watch all 86 episodes, even if it kills me. But even in that one episode, it was like, oh my gosh, look at all these characters. Like, the siblings, the sixtuplets, they're basically the same dude, as I suspected, which I feel like I previously said that's something that you couldn't get away with now, but with the way that all the other characters are moving around them, I feel like that's something that you could do as long as characters are active, but I feel like people nowadays expect more from main characters. But if you just have a lot of main characters, then, like, do whatever you want, and that's definitely what they did. They did a whole lot of whatever they wanted. I expect this series to be problematic in some ways because, one, it's Osomatsu, and I have come accustomed to problematic things going on in that series, even for its now adaptation. And it's also 1988, and Japan, just Japanese culture, not to say that pretty much culture is problematic. That's the overarching statement. All cultures are problematic. But there are obviously some things that Japan isn't sensitive to that we are, and I'm an American, so I'm going to be ignorant. But I'm going to watch it, and I feel like it's already significantly better because with the focus being on the brothers and how they've changed, I'm going backwards to the brothers all being the same, like, entity-ish, and people interacting around them and how they deal with them, rather than 2015 on how the brothers deal with everybody else, and everybody else has become significantly less. When I saw Dion running a magic shop, I was like, what? You mean to tell me Dion has a life? And, like, I haven't even gotten to an episode with Dakapan. Dakapan is in 1988, and he looks like he has more character. It's like everybody just got so, like, filed down for 2015 and 2017, and they obviously changed format. They made, like, tidbits and 15-minute story installments with some episodes running for the full length, or less than 15 minutes for commercial time. And they also made short stories with some recycled character elements, which is something that I was surprised that they didn't pick up from a previous thing. Maybe the original from 19 1967 does that, because the only description I see for 1967 is that it's about sixtuplets that play pranks. And I know I'm going to get more than that because that is 56 episodes. But, I mean, like, it's good to change format and all, but, like, for what you did, you could have added more to the characters and gave us, like, I feel like, comparatively speaking, the brothers don't have a full life because the people around them are so, like, watered down, and, like, they're there to be extreme and react extremely to what the brothers do and how they're reacting to each other. But it's like they aren't really there for themselves now, because I saw so many characters in one episode. I saw Ayami and Chibita in a business together. Ayami cooks, and I think Ayami might have been a problematic Chinese stereotype because of his teeth, which is why they had to make certain changes with him nowadays, which I totally understand that. Back when that was acceptable. But I feel like there are changes that could have been made, like, yeah, you know, change the things that you know are a problem. But then they went into such vulgar extremes, like playing male rape for laughs and making the brothers nice guy incels, when actually the brothers were doing better back when they were children. So there are a lot of things that can change about a person, that can change for better or for worse as time goes on. But confidence is one of those things that don't change. And in 1988, going forward, the brothers had the confidence to talk to women and girls. As far as I've seen from one episode, they were chasing like 4 different coochie. And that was funny as shit to me. And it's like the running trend of all 6 of them trying to get with one girl. That's in Kun, that's cute. In San, that's super problematic and unrealistic. And it's part of the problem is that they don't see how awful that is to do to one person. But like as kids, it's like funny and cute. So it's like, where did that confidence that they had in the 80s go? And what happened to like? Okay, so character diversity, we can't really mock Japan on that one too much because they're a mostly homogenous culture. But the 1998 series had a gay guy. It's not the best gay guy I've ever seen. It's 1998. But, like, everyone in Osomatsu-san is so dronishly heterosexual and cisgender. And the one time they talk about any kind of gender variation thing, it's by American standards transphobic and super problematic because they're kind of talking about transgender sex workers, and they're not sensitive enough to talk about that issue like properly, and they certainly shouldn't have put it in this context. But like, oh, we have like this realistic just this gay guy just being here. Maybe not the best representation, but definitely better than what they did in 2015. Well, a different group of people did in 2015. And I'm just like, I am already about this. This definitely encourages me to hunt down 1967 a lot more, with that being said. Oh, started in 1966, sorry. So, I have a lot of confidence in this, and it's like, I don't know if I have any kind of bias, because this is also 1988, Year of the Dragon, year I was born. But, I don't see why that would affect it, I'm just being silly. But, I'm sad that they didn't decide, that the new, producers didn't decide to go forward from where the brothers were. Like, a part of me agrees with not making all 6 of them the same dude as the 2 previous ones. But the other part of me is like, the focus is maybe too much on them, and the other characters having a life should also be a thing. I like it when all the characters have a life. I like a full, juicy story. And with this, to have it compared to with the same characters where we know it can be done, I am steadily more disappointed with the new adaptation.